Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you're one of our dedicated C9 followers, whether you found us through the feed or our business page, you know we're here to cut through the noise.
And deliver real, actionable insight.
I'm Lex, and with me today, sharing her incredible depth of knowledge from the C9 podcast show, is Vera.
It's great to be back. And today, we are talking directly to you, the Australian business owners and the C-level executives who know you need to transform, not just, tweet things around the edges.
That's right. Our mission is really clear. We've gone through a stack of sources, market reports, case studies, internal research, and they all point to one thing.
How intelligent automation, which is that powerful combination of RPA and AI, is really the only viable way out of the challenges facing Australian businesses today.
Because let's be frank, the current operating environment is a perfect storm.
It really is. It's not about small optimizations anymore. For many, this is about navigating, well, truly existential pressure.
The numbers are stark, and they really set the scene for this whole discussion. Our sources show a staggering 65% of Australian business leaders say cost and margin pressure is their absolute biggest challenge right now.
And that pressure isn't theoretical, is it? It's acutely painful. I mean, the data shows that 31% of those leaders are having to dip into their personal funds.
Just to keep things running, to manage cash flow.
When you're sacrificing personal stability for the business, we are way beyond a standard business cycle.
And that ties directly into the second massive pressure point, the talent crunch.
Of course. If you're hemorrhaging margin, you can't afford to hire.
Exactly. 43% of SMEs find hiring costs prohibitive. And almost half, 47%, say the whole process is just too complex and too long.
And on top of that, you've got this complex regulatory environment. We see 53% reporting more operational stress just from managing IR reforms and compliance.
So automation stops being a nice-to-have efficiency tool.
And it becomes a non-negotiable competitive necessity. If you can't hire the talent you need, you have to automate the work. There's no other way.
But if it's the key, why are so many businesses struggling to get it right? And that brings us to our first segment. Why the RPA solutions from a few years ago are, well, basically obsolete.
We have to start with the limits of yesterday's tech. Traditional robotic process automation, or RPA.
Right, the bots that just digitize repetitive tasks. Data entry, report generation, that sort of thing.
It was digital clerical worker, really. And it's great at structured tasks because it operates on that pure, strict if-then logic.
If the input is exactly X, the bot does exactly Y. It's reliable, but that's also its core weakness.
And here's where it gets really interesting, especially for Australian businesses. Traditional RPA just fails spectacularly in dynamic environments.
Like your accounts payable process.
Exactly. The bot is programmed for one invoice format. A supplier changes the layout or sends a scanned image with a handwritten note.
And the bot just freezes. It throws an exception, and you need a human to step in.
Which is catastrophic when you think about Australian compliance. Take the award system.
Oh, it's a minefield. Penalty rates change based on time of day, location, the award level.
And a traditional bot can't interpret that ambiguity. It can't cross-reference a timesheet against shifting IR interpretations. So the bot fails, and suddenly you're exposed to potential wage theft liability.
And that limitation is driving the massive market shift we're seeing. The RPA market is already huge, what, $22 billion in 2024?
Around 22, yes, but it's projected to explode to over $178 billion by 2033. That's a blistering 25.7% compound annual growth rate.
That growth isn't about more rigid bots, though.
Not at all. It's driven entirely by Gen AI and machine learning integration. And here's the urgent part. 60% of Australian businesses are already using AI or planning to within 2 years.
So the gap between businesses using intelligent automation and those stuck with basic automation is widening right now.
It's becoming a chasm. Which brings us to the solution. Intelligent automation. This is RPA's hands doing the work, combined with AI's brain understanding and adapting.
I hear the term AI thrown around everywhere, and frankly, I'm a bit skeptical. Is this genuinely a technical leap, or are we just paying for a marketing term? What does AI actually add?
That's the crucial question. And it is a genuine leap. We distilled 4 key additions from the sources. The first is unstructured data processing.
So it's moving beyond just neat structured forms.
Way beyond. AI-enhanced RPA can read handwritten notes, scanned images, messy email chains, non-standard PDFs, even transcribe voice recordings.
Right, which immediately solves that new invoice format problem we talked about. And the ROI is instant. We saw a fantastic example, a logistics company.
Tell me.
They used AI-powered RPA on their bills of lading. They got a 60% reduction in processing time. And get this, 824,000 documents a year, with 93% straight-through processing.
Meaning almost no human involvement. That's huge.
Huge.
The second addition is context-aware decision-making. This is the leap from a bot saying the rule is A to a bot saying, well, the rule is A, but given historical pattern B and legislative update C, the optimal decision is A prime.
It's pattern recognition, not just rule following, which makes it practical for HR compliance, a massive headache here.
Absolutely. The system can interpret complex award requirements, cross-reference time logs, and calculate the correct penalty rates. You move from reactive risk mitigation to proactive compliance. That's a game changer under the new IR reforms.
Okay, what's the third one?
Third is natural language understanding, or NLU. This completely changes customer experience. No more rigid phone menus.
So customers can just describe their problem in their own words.
Exactly, via chat or voice. The system understands the intent, the urgency, and routes it intelligently. It gets the why behind the query.
And the last one.
This might be the most valuable. Continuous learning and adaptation. Traditional RPA dies when a process changes.
Right.
Intelligent automation uses machine learning to find patterns in the exceptions, that tricky 20% of cases. It learns from every edge case and gets smarter over time. Your investment becomes future-proof.
And the overall numbers bear this out. We're seeing, what, 60% average reduction in processing time?
A 60% reduction in time, cost reductions between 30 and 40%, and error rates dropping from a human average of up to 5% down to less than 0.01%.
So it solves both the margin and the talent problem. But if the tech is this good, why are so many projects still failing?
This brings us to the critical pitfall.
Okay, let's unpack this. The executive desire for the quick quote. And why skipping a proper discovery process is, well, probably the worst decision you can make.
It sounds so appealing, doesn't it? I need invoice automation. What's the price? But you're just gambling. We see 4 catastrophic risks from this quick quote trap.
First, and this is the most common, is building the wrong solution to the wrong problem.
Right. An executive assumes the bottleneck is in accounts. But really, the problem starts with a messy, manual client onboarding process.
So you spend 30 grand automating invoices, solving maybe 20% of your problem, while the real issue goes untouched. Money wasted.
Second, you miss critical integration requirements. That quick quote doesn't account for your bespoke ERP or your legacy CRM.
And suddenly, the $20,000 quote becomes $45,000 in unexpected work. Budget, timeline, all blown.
The third is ignoring exception handling. An AI cowboy can automate the easy 80%, but they skip discovery, so they haven't mapped the complex 20%.
So your staff are still handling all the tricky stuff manually? The investment hasn't actually solved your core problem.
And fourth, the compliance landmines. The Privacy Act, IR reforms, the award system. A cheap, fast solution can introduce regulatory risks that completely dwarf the cost of the automation itself.
Let's make this real. We saw 2 case studies.
Okay.
Project A, a Melbourne manufacturer, they wanted cheap, got a $15,000 offshore quote, skipped discovery.
And what happened?
Total disaster, failed integration, broke constantly on exceptions. They had to spend another $23,000 just to rebuild it properly.
Ouch. Total wasted investment.
Contrast that with Project B, a Sydney professional services firm. They invested $4,500 in a proper 2-week discovery.
And discovery showed them invoice processing wasn't the real problem.
It was client onboarding. It's taken 12 days. They automated that instead, saved $180,000 annually, and got their ROI in 4 months.
They spent a few thousand on analysis to save 6 figures. That's the definition of a strategic investment.
So discovery is basically insurance against failure. What does that process actually look like?
For an investment of, say, between $3,500 to $7,500 over 2 weeks, you buy absolute clarity.
It's not just talking, is it? It's analytical work.
Deep analytical work. Mapping current processes, using process mining tools to find the real bottlenecks, designing the solution, and then critically calculating accurate hour-based pricing. No guesswork.
And that clarity lets you use a phased approach. So a C-level exec isn't signing off on $100,000 up front.
Exactly. You break it down. You commit, say, 15,000 to a proof of concept for one critical workflow. If that POC works, you proceed. If it doesn't,
Well, you've only spent 15,000 learning it won't work, instead of flushing the whole 100,000.
it's just smart risk mitigation. You walk away with comprehensive documents, a technical blueprint, and guaranteed pricing. That process prevents, on average, $15,000 to $50,000 in wasted spending.
Which brings us to the final danger zone, the source of those cheap quotes. The AI cowboys.
Yes. The threat of AI cowboys and vibes coding, this is a new, pervasive problem. These are operators who have access to tools like ChatGPT, and they market themselves as solution providers.
And their pitch is compelling, right? Why pay a team 50,000 when I can do it for 8?
But they're coding on vibes. They have zero understanding of enterprise architecture, scale, or security. And there are 4 catastrophic outcomes C-level execs have to see.
Go on.
Number 1, the security time bomb.
Yeah.
They cut corners. API keys stored in plain text, no audit logs. 6 months later, you have a data breach, and the average remediation cost for an Australian SMB is $122,000.
And the cowboy is long gone. Number 2 has to be the technical debt nightmare.
It is. The cheap solution works today, but it's spaghetti code. The moment your business scales, it collapses. Then you're forced to spend $40,000 plus just to rebuild it from scratch.
Number 3, the compliance catastrophe. This is huge in Australia. The automation handles data in a way that violates the Privacy Act, or it miscalculates entitlements under the award system.
And suddenly you're facing massive legal liability and fines.
And finally, the fatal flaw, the "it works on my machine" problem.
They test with clean, simple data. But in your real production environment, with messy data, network issues, peak loads, it just crashes. You paid for an 80% solution that fails when you need it most.
It really comes down to accountability and expertise. I mean, would you hire someone who watched a few YouTube videos on surgery because they're 80% cheaper than a trained surgeon?
That analogy really puts it into perspective. This is digital surgery on your business operations.
You're not just buying code, you're buying expertise, reliability, knowledge transfer, clear documentation, rigorous testing. You're buying scalable success.
Absolutely. So to sum up, intelligent automation is a competitive necessity. It offers speed and cost reductions you just can't get otherwise. But success hinges on strategy and expertise, not cheap shortcuts.
The journey requires diligence and a real sense of urgency. The best time to start was 2 years ago.
The second best time is right now.
So what does this all mean for you, the executive? If you're focused on incremental cost cutting today, you have to calculate the opportunity cost. If your competitors capture that 60% processing speed and 40% cost reduction in the next 12 months, where will your business be a year from now?
Just scrambling to catch up.
If you are an Australian business owner or C-level executive ready to transform your business and bypass these pitfalls, contact C9 Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company.
Start the conversation with clarity, not guesswork. Visit our website at www.c9.com.au today to book your free 60-minute consultation.
That's www.c9.com.au. Thank you for joining us for this crucial deep dive. Be sure to click that follow button and share this with anyone in your network who needs to hear it. We'll see you next time.